Hello everyone, I'm Karen McGee. I'm a RTT hypnotherapist and I specialize in helping people deal with the emotional challenges of ADHD. And I'm here today with another question that was raised from one of my ADHD support groups. If you have ADHD, you might have noticed something interesting. While caffeine makes most people jittery, it can actually calm you down, help you focus, and even improve your mood. But why? Is caffeine an alternative to ADHD medication? How does it work in the ADHD brain? And what are the pros and cons of using caffeine for focus? In this video, we're going to dive into the science behind caffeine and ADHD. So grab a cup of coffee, some tea, or an energy drink, and let's get started. So let's start talking about why caffeine works differently for people with ADHD. It all comes down to dopamine and stimulants. ADHD, dopamine, and focus. In the ADHD brain, dopamine levels are often lower than average. Dopamine is the neurotransmitter responsible for motivation, focus, and pleasure. ADHD medications like Adderall and Ritalin work by increasing dopamine. But did you know that caffeine does something similar? Caffeine blocks a neurotransmitter called adenosine, which normally makes us feel tired. By blocking this neurotransmitter, caffeine indirectly increases dopamine and alertness. That's why so many people with ADHD find that caffeine actually helps them focus. Now, many people experience caffeine as a burst of energy, followed by a crash. But for ADHD brains, caffeine often has a calming effect instead of making us hyper. This is because stimulant medications and stimulants like caffeine have our brains work more efficiently, reducing the need for hyperactivity and distraction. Now that we know how caffeine affects the ADHD brain, let's talk about the benefits. Here are the top 3 ways caffeine can help people with ADHD. It can improve your focus and attention. One of the biggest benefits of caffeine is improved focus. For many people with ADHD, a cup of caffeine or coffee or tea can help them stay on task longer. Studies have even shown that caffeine can enhance working memory, helping you hold on to information while doing tasks that require concentration. Because caffeine acts as a mild stimulant, it can actually help reduce impulsivity and hyperactivity by improving self-regulation. This is why some ADHDers describe caffeine as medication in a cup. It's not really medication, but that's what they describe it. It helps with impulse control and makes it easier to stay engaged in conversations and tasks. Caffeine can also improve the mood by boosting dopamine, helping with motivation and reducing ADHD burnout. It's why many of us feel that first sip of caffeine is an instant motivation. Okay, so here's the big question. Can caffeine be a substitute for ADHD medication? The short answer, not exactly. It's less potent. Caffeine is much weaker than prescription stimulants like Adderall or Ritalin. It's shorter lasting, so caffeine effects last for 2 to 4 hours, while ADHD medications last for 8 to 12 hours. And it's less targeted. So some of these medications are designed to regulate ADHD symptoms, while caffeine is just more general. So if you have mild ADHD symptoms, caffeine might be enough to help you focus. But for many people, it's not as effective as medication, especially for tasks that require substantial attention. Caffeine can be helpful, but it's not perfect. So here are some potential downsides to keep in mind. Caffeine sensitivity and anxiety. Some people with ADHD are sensitive to caffeine, meaning even small amounts can cause anxiety, heart palpitations, or digestive issues. If this happens to you, it might be worth switching to a lower dose like tea. The sleep disruptions. Caffeine can interfere with sleep, especially if you have ADHD. Since many of us already struggle with insomnia, try cutting off the caffeine at least 6 to 8 hours before bedtime. Caffeine tolerance and dependency. If you drink caffeine regularly, your body gets used to it, meaning you may need more to get the same effect. This can lead to dependence, withdrawal headaches, and crashes. So the key is to use caffeine strategically, not as a crutch. So let's talk about the best ways to use caffeine. Well, find your ideal dose. Start small. Some ADHDers do great with just half a cup of coffee or green tea. Experiment with different sources like tea, matcha, or dark chocolate. Time it just right. Drink caffeine in the morning or early afternoon to avoid sleep issues. And if you need a midday boost, opt for a lower dose. Pair it with protein. Drinking coffee on an empty stomach can cause energy crashes. So try pairing it with a protein-rich breakfast for longer-lasting focus. So does caffeine help you with ADHD? Have you noticed a difference in focus, mood, or energy? If so, let's talk. Put it in the comments. I would love to hear it. And if you found this video helpful, please don't forget to like it, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more ADHD insights. And if you feel that this content is something that a friend or a loved one may benefit from, please share it. I would love for us to start a conversation and really learn from each other. Thank you so much for listening to this video. See you next time. Goodbye.